What up? What's happening, everybody? My name is Charles Blades, and this is the Current Gaming Podcast. I am joined by none other than not Trophy Pops himself, the potato himself, Aaron Weeks. How's it going, buddy?
Good, man. So on the way in, I decided to get some food.
Okay, tell me what you got. Some delectable.
So there's like two things on the way here from my apartment, and it's Burger King and McDonald's. So the decision-making process for that was, do I want to eat a burger that makes me feel bad and tastes good, or just makes me feel bad? So I got Burger King and immediately thought I was going to vomit.
Exactly. Wait, you got the one that didn't taste good?
No, that's the one that tastes good.
McDonald's is the one that tastes bad.
Oh, I thought you said Wendy. I don't know. I heard Wendy's in my head.
No, Burger King and McDonald's are the two that are on the way.
Wendy's
burger an option I would have gotten.
Wendy's burgers, honestly, are lower than both.
Wendy's burgers make me feel worse.
No, they don't make me feel bad at all. They don't taste.
They're not as good. I'm saying on a pure taste level.
Yeah,
it's Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's.
Wendy's has the best fries and the best chicken nuggets, though.
The Baconator, though.
Wendy's has the best fries when they're made right.
Burger King has the Bacon King, which is the Baconator, but better in every way.
Oh, I haven't had it.
Yeah. We haven't gone to Burger King in years.
Our Burger King is like a total fuck-up store.
Dude,
there's literally memes on the Columbus subreddit about the Burger King on 5th Avenue because it is so
it's
bad.
That bad.
It's so
like on the way here, I was like going up and down hills, thought I was going to throw up in my car.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely a bigger fan.
So like you asked me if I was tired when I walked in, it's because I was recovering from Burger King.
You looked like death, so I was like, oh, what's up, buddy?
I have the Milkmaid, Cheyenne Clark. You didn't like that one?
No,
I'm doing
I
rotate
don't
them.
like that one.
I don't have. They're not good. The other ones aren't that good. The Connect.
Well, you just
Clean,
can't
critically,
say those.
That one I can't do. It's too hard, dude. There's so many C sounds. There's 1, 2, 3, 4
alliteration.
5 sounds in one phrase. Joanna, how you having a good week? You're down here.
I just moved out of my apartment,
Yeah.
and it was fucking terrible.
Oh yeah.
And then I have to move back in 2 weeks, and
that sounds like fun.
And then I have to move again back here in December.
That's a good old time.
My life fucking sucks.
Yeah, moving's always fun. No. So I've thought about this, Aaron. You're
how many times have you fucking moved?
0.
Yeah.
I've helped all of you people move. I've helped you move, I helped Drew move twice, and I helped Caleb move.
Yep,
I got fucking favors to cash in,
motherfucker. Moving to Columbus, so that's gonna.
When you move, I'll help you move. I'm just cashing in. I'm like, wait, I'm gonna not even help when I move. You guys are just gonna do it for me.
You basically got free movers lined up.
Dude, but yeah, all right. So when you move to Columbus, I'm gonna help you do that. I help you load up the car, or am I coming with you?
You're gonna have to go with me because I have a U-Haul.
I'm tagging along.
Are you? Did I help you paint? I showed up for that.
I helped. No, you didn't show up. I showed up.
Yeah. Caleb didn't. I helped one day. I helped with the whole. I remember.
He did. Him and Cheyenne both helped. Caleb was the one that was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll be there," and then just didn't show up.
Caleb was like, "I'm gonna paint a mural, like fucking."
Well, that was my idea, but like,
yeah.
I almost said DiCaprio. What's his name? Da Vinci. That's on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And then we have Gate B bystander David Morgan. How's it going?
That's good.
You're mediating. Encounters with Donald Trump Jr. and Robert Mueller. How's that going?
So that's the deep cut joke for today.
Yeah.
It's good. I'll be moving also next weekend.
This is the moving podcast.
Into our new apartment.
Yeah.
So I'm moving to Cincinnati from here, and it's I don't know. It's gonna be.
You're moving to like the city of Cincinnati from the suburbs.
Yes. Instead of living with my parents, which has been fine. They're good. It's great. But
good.
Except for that one time where you said you were like maybe homeless.
Yeah. It was a rough night, but no, it's been good, and I'm just excited.
You want to take us through this on the podcast?
No,
that was very interesting.
That's quite all right. I just had an argument with my dad. I don't.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
Wasn't great.
I got some David's dad stories. We'll want to start airing those out of the podcast, man.
No, that's all right.
The taser he was shooting as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
He shot a hole in his bedroom wall with a Glock. He was showing my aunt a Glock, and it went off because he was drunk. And I'm like, oh, good.
This is why guns are bad.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. So, I'm excited to be on my own in my own place again.
Will there be firearms in your new apartment?
No, I have a ball in it's a lead ball in a.
Oh yeah,
like a ball
I brought
it's
that.
like literally, gun, but I do have a weapon.
No, it's literally
it's
a lead ball. It's like a club. It's like a lead ball braided into like a nylon rope.
And is it for kinky sex play kind of?
No, it's like for knocking people out.
Yeah, I brought that home. So.
Okay, I don't know.
I have a baseball bat right there.
Yeah, those are good.
Oh, I brought the crowbar too.
Crowbar
inefficient. I gotta be honest.
It's
with
not.
you.
It's not easy.
Crowbar's like brutal because there's like the hooky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that. I mean, yeah. If it's a fucking like quick time event, that's interesting. But like, it's not like in real life. I'm saying I want a baseball bat with me.
Yeah, I think I would prefer.
I have a mini baseball bat. It's like that long.
Yeah, I'm
That's
sure
like a
that-
nightstick. I mean, that's
Yeah,
good.
basically,
That's
yeah.
better than nothing. But I got like a legit like 32
baseball.
of that fucking.
Baseball bat's underrated home defense tool.
Oh, 100%. So we actually have a good show for you this week. A lot of cool news we're gonna be talking. I mean, not good news necessarily, but a lot of talking points we have this week. So this first story comes from Rob Gordon over at Screen Rant. It's about the new next generation of consoles because we love talking about those 3 years in advance.
Yeah.
And it's rumors about the next Xbox. And as I wrote it, Nextbox.
Nextbox. I thought it was a good name. He said it was shitty. So
yeah, if they name it, that would be terrible. But this comes from Rob Gordon.
Xbox 2.
Is the latest rumors regarding the next generation of Xbox consoles suggest that Microsoft's next iteration of the machine is going to offer a streaming-only device, breaking from the current mold for top-tier consoles. It's the latest in a long line of whispers regarding Microsoft's moves in the next gen. As with the Xbox having been on the market for nearly 5 years, it's clear the company will be wanting to cement its future plans soon. So far, the next generation of Xbox, known by codename Xbox Scarlet, has been subjugated.
That's
cool. That is a really good codename. They should just call it that.
They always fuck it up and call it
The
something
codenames
dumb.
are so much cool.
Scorpio.
Like the fucking PS4 was Orbis. That's fucking cool.
Orbis.
Yeah. I mean, what was the GameCube was like Dolphin. That was pretty whack.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah.
Nintendo Dolphin.
Oh, God.
Have been subject to plenty of rumors. Perhaps the most interesting is that it could be more than just a single device, with suggestions that the Microsoft could be making a family of consoles this time around, much like the current setup of the Xbox One S and the Xbox One X. So basically, if it goes on further than thing, what they're talking about doing is at launch they would release two consoles. One that is just a normal like $400 box that we all know, and another one that's going to be like $150, $120 that would be streaming only.
Oh. Well, I mean,
is
why,
they're playing around.
so streaming only implies that like they have like a server side computer doing it, right? Like PS Now. Wouldn't that mean it would be stronger? The streaming only device? Like, isn't having a hardware console objectively going to be less powerful than a streaming console?
Oh, 100. I mean, like in theory.
So
yes.
why would that one be less expensive? Just like why would you even buy
because
the
you don't
hardware?
have to buy like if you're streaming, all it is it's streaming it, so like it doesn't have to do the hardware processing on it. You're doing that on a computer somewhere else.
Yeah.
So like you don't have to pay for those parts, so it can be way cheaper.
But they would be comparable in power, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they would be comparable in
Oh.
power, but like
Yeah, I mean, like
in
at that-
theory, I don't know.
At
if
that
this is
point,
all
why
gonna
not just go all out and have it be like, yeah, this is like our streaming console, and it's like 4 times as powerful as the whoops as the PS4 because we can like have a supercomputer do all the calculations. Like, it seems more worth it to be like.
Yeah, we not no timestamps on this episode. Sorry, guys.
No,
Whoops.
it's fine. Just add the time in the.
Yeah, no, I'm not making Aaron do fucking lattice on the fly.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It seems like if you're gonna do it a streaming only console, you might as well go all the way and be like, it's the strongest console ever because we can do it all on our own. But I don't know. Maybe the input lag would be terrible. I think it would be. I don't think we're there yet for a streaming console to work.
What about you guys?
I think it'd be cool if we had a streaming console, but like I don't know if I'd want that just because like I like collecting physical media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's games that like we've talked about this a couple times. There's games that I like to have digitally, but I would rather.
You buy the box, and then what's in the box? What if it was just like?
in the box?
What if it was just like collectible items? Like instead of buying a
That'd
physical
be better,
game,
honestly.
it would be
Yeah.
like a code in a box with like a cool little trinket.
Like
or
you get a
something.
keychain.
Yeah,
or
that'd be
something.
great.
That would be a million times.
That's
better.
what I'm. That is probably the future of like physical games.
And I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
I don't know. I think we are close to having a successful streaming console. Like there was the rumors about the Google.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Video game thing. Where
Well, if
like,
anybody could do it right now, it's Microsoft because their online service doesn't fucking blow.
see, I feel like Google would be the one to
Well,
have a
yeah.
successful.
He's
streaming
saying like
console.
out of the
In the-
current.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
Google.
the-
I don't know, maybe
probably.
Steam. I feel like
If
they do
anybody
something
was
better,
gonna come out the gate and have like a successful console like added into the like holy trinity of like Microsoft, Xbox, Nintendo, I feel like Google could come out with like here's our streaming only system, whatever you want to call it, and
That would
do-
probably just like consume the market if it was good.
Mhm.
Because like nobody's gonna pass up the chance to sell on a Google device. I feel like that would be
well,
like.
the people that would pass up are the studios that are owned by Sony.
Yeah,
Microsoft,
I mean,
and
obviously,
Nintendo.
those are so. Like, I think like the only reason, I think systems are gonna become so homogenized and like everything's gonna stream in like 5 years. Everything's gonna be like comparable in power, and then exclusives are gonna be like the only reason. Sans Nintendo, which I think will keep doing like their weird hybrid hardware that like gives you a reason to actually own it, which I like more than just like here's a powerful, a kind of powerful computer. Like it's like, then here's games that you can only play on this one. Like that's just so shitty. So like I hope that what happens is streaming becomes a thing, and then hopefully we see more. I don't know, because then exclusives is all they have, right? Like that's the only thing that's there. I want to see more hardware that iterates on like ideas outside of just the games that they play, like the Switch, like things with not gimmicks because that makes it sound like dismissive, but like hardware that like presents a new
idea. Like the PS2 had dual
even the Steam controller, like things like that. That's cool. Like that makes
like the trackpad
that makes that unique. I mean, no, but it works. It's better.
It does work. I'm just saying. Like
people like
gimmicks are gimmicks until they catch on, then they're not gimmicks anymore.
That's true. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe that's like a roundabout way of saying it. But I guess
maybe that's not true because I would still call the Wii a gimmick.
The Wii. Yeah,
but it was like incredibly successful. So.
But like things like Dreams, like with the PS Move, like that shit's gonna be. I think that's gonna be amazing. Like I think that
I don't know about the move part of it.
I mean, that's like how you make the shit like way better. Like you can use a controller, but it's like way more efficient.
I just don't think the audience there, especially on like maybe on a PC, maybe where people are a lot more creative.
I think Dreams is gonna.
I think Dreams is gonna fail, and Media Molecule will get closed in 2 years.
You're high as fuck.
I think that's honestly.
Dreams is gonna be really cool, but I think I agree with that. That there's not gonna.
No, there's gonna be creators, and then there's gonna be people who just want to play the games, and like there's like it only needs to be like a 1% to 99% break.
You're right, but I don't even feel like there's that one. Like I think if you are a creative mindset person, where you're gonna use like Unity, you're using a PC to do all this. Like that's why Minecraft was so successful because you can be creative in that and like on a
that was my worry is that I would feel like this is just wasted effort on a game that I could be making like in a equally easy like engine like Unity or something. Like I don't know, but
Cheyenne, do you want a streaming console? Or are you not
No, I was wondering who the market for that even is. Like, is it everyone? Like,
so in theory, I think because it is cheaper, I think their intention is for the market to be casual people, right? Like that would be my guess. But I feel like casual people are the people that are playing like Madden and Call of Duty and like these games that are so like a key portion of it is online.
Yeah.
And like that's not going to work the best on a streaming.
You think you gotta think like there's online latency and then there's streaming latency. And if
so you just times
unless they can get that working really like PS Now even like today has input lag. Like it's not great for like action platformers and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think if this would be a good way to make games cheaper, just because you're just buying a license to play, you don't even own the game. Like, because if their fucking computer goes down and it doesn't stream the game anymore, you're done. Like,
I mean, that's how like games are like today. If you buy an online game to a degree,
like you can still play Demon's Souls, you just can't play the online aspect.
Well, no, I'm just saying like if I buy a game digitally today, I don't really own it. I own a license to it, and like.
Yeah, but there isn't like a server that's supplying the ability to play the game.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
like
that's true.
Imagine buying God of War on a streaming service, and then like 5 years down the road, you're like, I want to play God of War, and they're like, oh, sorry, we moved on. That's shut down. Like that's fucked up. Like that's my only worry with like, if it worked well, that is then the concern of like, well, this is all reliant on your guys' system being up and running, and if I want to play these games in like 20 years, I'm just fucked. Like essentially, but maybe then we'll have consoles that would just play them normally.
Even if it's streaming only, though, I'm sure the option to buy is still going to be a thing. Like you can probably go in and still like download it to like a local.
Not if your console.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Well, then you could buy peripherals that like a plug and play like hard.
Well, at that point, you just might as well buy the normal. Like if they're going to do two consoles, you might.
I mean, if there's like a 2 console option, but if they're moving towards.
Well, I mean, what these rumors talk about is how there's going to be like one console is a normal console, one console is a streaming console. Yeah. So, but I like. So in my head, what their idea is that they want to market it to the like most casual, like lowest common denominator audience.
It's gonna be like an Ouya.
But like for me, it's like this. Like if this was a thing right now, and I didn't own an Xbox, like this would be something maybe I'd be interested in. But like just to play exclusive, always $100, like not the end.
To play like Forza and like Gears of War, I would get one of these. If it works, I will get one. I'm gonna wait and see because I'm very skeptical.
Oh, there's no way I'm buying this day fucking one.
No. I'm waiting for like a month or two and seeing what people are saying, and then I will consider picking it up to play like Halo Infinite and like whenever that comes out, and like Forza because it doesn't fucking run on my computer because the PC port's trash. So just things like that. Like I would consider it if it
also
works.
Going forward, if we want to get real deep inside baseball with it. Like if you're just gonna have a streaming service like this on a console, why wouldn't they just bring the streaming service to a PC so you could play it on like I don't have a great PC.
You'd think they would,
but like even if I could play it on this, like this isn't a Mac or a Windows, but like if this was like just a normal Windows laptop, and all I had to do was stream something like that, that could handle that.
Like, why make a whole piece of hardware when the hardware already exists?
Yeah, when people already have the hardware in their hands. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. I don't. These rumors aren't getting reported by like major outlets, but they're getting reported by like medium kind of people. Speaking of media outlets, I'm gonna skip this story for now and then go to this one because that segue was just so good. And this story comes from Rebecca Valentine at gamesindustry.biz, and it's about the gaming website The Escapist. And it reads, Enthusiast Gaming announced today that it acquired the Escapist magazine and will be relaunching the publication under the direction of reappointed former editor-in-chief Russ Pitts. As before, the Escapist will primarily cover the gaming industry alongside movies, comics, TV, and other entertainment genres. In a statement, Pitts talked about how the site's approach the political commentary that is, in his words, dominating the site. He said, quote, One thing I can tell you without delay or equivocation, we're leaving politics at the door, Pitt's post reads. Most of us have thoughts about politics, and most of us have thoughts about politics just like you, and because we're creators, those thoughts might show up in our work. Avoiding that will be unnatural. That said, I can promise you no one here will share their politics and attempt to convince you that yours are wrong. And your worth will not be calculated based on whether you're on the left or the right. Politics are everywhere, but they don't have to be everything. We're going to focus on what's fun, and we hope that you'll join us in that. Later on, after kind of his statement received some negative backlash, he wrote another statement saying, leaving politics at the door does not mean being apolitical. As he put it, the Escapist magazine will certainly address topics that have political connections. We will definitely not do so in a way that intentionally exacerbates a culture war. And yes, that's going to be a fine needle to thread. So what do you guys make of this whole... Not that any of us watch The Escapist?
No, I mean, I watch like Zero Punctuation, which I think is still through The Escapist. Okay. But I think they are cowards, and I think that this is a move to sate the people who are like... Oh, Kotaku is so shitty.
And Polygon or
Kotaku is racist against white people. Like shit like that.
They literally said that.
This is a direct move. At least it sounds like a direct move to be like, yeah, games are fun. I don't want to talk about politics. You guys are just fucking leftist like outlets and I hate you. Like this is like them being like, hey, you guys over there, we're cool, so let's read our site now. Like it's like it's just like, so if there's not politics to be discussed, maybe don't like insert them into things, like, but if like there are like strictly political games, like, or games that are trying to say things about politics, like indie games, you know, or even like, I mean, you can even talk about how a game like Far Cry 5 doesn't say anything, and like that's fine, you can talk about it. Like it's just such a like, they're just dancing around these issues just to like appease an angry mob of internet babies that are like, I hate politics being brought up in fucking games journalism, when that's just something that happens. Like, I don't know.
And it's not just like politics in games, which obviously like that's something you should talk about, because when you make a game, like there are politics involved, but also like outside of the game itself, like in the industry, you have to talk about like things like sexual harassment, which is huge in the gaming industry, in all industries, and you have to talk about like crunch and like unionization and like all of that stuff. Like if you're gonna be a games journalist, you should be talking about the industry, which includes all of that also. Like
I want to clarify though, when I say like they're a blog, and like I disagree with a lot of people who write political posts about games. Like, I really disagree with, like, Austin Walker saying that Monster Hunter was colonialist. But, like, I and others need to, like, accept that people should be able to write about whatever the fuck they want. And Escapist being like, if you're going to write this, you can't write about what?
People shouldn't be allowed to write about
okay, all right. Okay, maybe not on all front. But, like, if you have, like, something and you want to be like, hey, I want to write an article about how this game maybe affects our perception of politics in America or whatever, and them to be like, oh, sorry, we don't write about that here. It's like a little silly, but like, there's no good angle for like it sounds like benign enough on the surface to be like games are fun, we don't want to make it political, but then you have to realize that is literally just them saying like we're not Kotaku, we're not Polygon, hey guys come read us, like
so like they wouldn't cover the ArenaNet thing that just happened basically.
I don't know.
I don't
even
know.
understand what they're saying.
Are they
Yeah,
saying
that's-
just
Look,
American
I feel like,
politics or
I don't
games?
understand like his point. He says I deleted it, but I'll read his exact quote. Is that he said, "Leaving politics at the door doesn't mean being apolitical." Yes, it does.
Yeah,
That statement
Like,
doesn't
that
connect.
is
They're
what
just trying
those
to
words
be as
mean.
middle ground as they possibly can. Like,
And in being middle ground, like saying you're leaving politics at the door is literally like what people like I don't know, like what people at 4chan say.
Yes.
And like people on
Yeah.
fucking.
No,
like,
I know. I go there. I know, and I know that that's the people that he is literally like. This is like a dog whistle for people that are like Kotaku and Polygon are leftist shitholes. I fucking hate those sites. And then they're gonna be like, oh, these guys don't talk about SJW or topics, and they're gonna
Right.
go there, and it's gonna be like, okay.
this like immediately sparked like a Twitter debate between like there was like Jason
Yeah.
Schreier and
Oh yeah.
fucking Colin Moriarty. It wasn't really a debate, but like it was just so funny that you saw like two people from like opposite
Colin
ends of
being
the
like,
spectrum,
this
like,
is great.
immediately going at like this article with.
Colin Moriarty is like the person that this like his fan base of just alt-right shitheads are gonna be like, yes, no politics in my games journalism.
And
Like,
And I'm
I
not
know-
like putting words in anybody's mouth. Like I don't even remember the point that he made really, but like
It was probably wrong.
It was just funny to me that they both. Jason Schreier immediately was like, "This is really dumb. You can't do that."
Yeah.
And then you've got the other side of it that's like, "Fuck Kotaku."
this is just
Yeah.
sanitizing. Like this is
It's-
literally a safe space.
It's literally that's what it is. It's like people. It's like if you're like a conservative like white person, or like even if you don't like if you don't subscribe to the notion that like people out in the world have hardships that are based not
Yeah.
on their character but on physical attributes or like attributes of
Things
themselves that
that
they can't
change,
control,
yeah.
then like you don't want to see that. Like it's literally this is like when people talk about like white privilege and stuff is like the privilege to not care about this stuff
Yeah.
is what that is.
Yeah.
And,
It's
like,
not that they don't want to talk about politics. It's that they don't want to see other people's opinions, because literally what he said is like, we're not gonna like force you or like tell you what you think is wrong and what we think is right. And I don't think I've really read anything from somewhere like Kotaku or Polygon that was like, this is the correct opinion to have about a political topic.
But
Like,
that's what people like want
that's
to
what they
perceive.
think.
They're like, you're telling me how to think, and it's like, no, dude, it's a
I'm
fucking
just sharing
blog.
my opinion.
It's their opinion, and you're
Yeah.
allowed to disagree. They're not trying to force some like narrative. Like fuck off. It's just
Yeah.
like this victim complex, and this is just feeding directly into that. And it's like, this is like, are you trying to set a standard that like we just ignore problems, and like we just ignore like things that games are trying to tell us or what they could be,
Yeah, because
educating
I
us
feel like
about?
on this argument, like you couldn't talk about a game like even like a game like Celeste, which is
Yeah.
not inherently
Yeah.
political, but it's about like depression
Yeah.
and anxiety and like
Yeah.
mental health and stuff like that. People are like SJW, man,
Yeah,
we gotta get
dude.
this the fuck out of here.
See, I just don't understand their logic. Like, does that mean that when they report about these games, they're just gonna say it was pretty fun?
Like that. Like
Yeah,
if you were
like-
to, this is my understanding. Like their review of Celeste would just be like the platforming was hard. There were interesting mechanics and that's a huge
Like-
part of the game. The art style was
yeah.
great, but like the entire narrative, like
Yeah.
description, they would just leave that out. Is like,
Yeah.
or if they're like, or they're not doing what the guy is saying. Like I don't understand.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna
I
be
don't know.
incomplete reports and reviews. Like,
Yeah.
So
Talk about like a game like Papers, Please. You literally just couldn't write about it.
Yeah.
Because it's like literally based in like politics, even though they're not American politics. Like this is literally, I bet they would talk about it too, which is the real fucking hypocrisy
Oh,
of all
yeah.
of this. A game like Papers, Please, they'd be like, yeah, it's about an Eastern Bloc like oppression, like gatekeep, like or like border security in a Eastern Bloc country, and it's like they would probably be fine with that. But like talking
Yeah.
about like all this games
Papers,
about
Please, Joe Arpaio edition. Really fun.
talking about like this game, I can't like think of one off the top of my head that's like strictly like, hey, like this is about this prominent issue in America
Or
right now.
it doesn't even have to like the game itself does, but there's so many like God of War isn't an inherently political game at all, but there's like things to talk about, like a father-son relationship and
Yeah.
that, and like when does that become too political? Where is the line for that? And at that
Yeah.
point you're just like fucking like curtailing your writers to like not be
That's
able
my
to.
problem with it, is that like if somebody had an idea, they would just be shut down.
Yeah.
They're trying too hard to not make anybody mad, but
Yeah.
it's just gonna be.
So like why
incomplete
your
reports.
website just should be like back of the box like facts like that's
Right.
what it-
Yeah.
like, and there's no
Let
Like,
people
if you-
have opinions.
Yeah, like you're not allowed to have an opinion on it. Like,
But us cuck snowflakes have
Yeah,
the
yeah,
problem with opinions, right?
Yeah, I'm the one that's afraid of reading words
I
on the
know,
screen.
I know.
Right.
The next story comes from Kotaku and Nathan Grayson. and it's about Dead Cells developer, or what is it called? Motion Twin. And it reads, the game industry is not exactly known for valuing its workers. All right, we can use this as an example. Is he saying your opinion is wrong in this story?
No.
Yes, he is.
Big studios are rife with soul-destroying crunch and end of project layoffs. French studio Motion Twin developed the Castlevania-inspired roguelite Dead Cells is trying something different. Workers own and manage the company. There is no boss. Motion Twin describes itself as an anarcho-syndical workers cooperative, which means that they went to college. What this means in practical terms is that of its 11 workers, there are, in theory, equal. Same pay, same say. This comes a quote from one of the people. I guess he's not the leader because they don't have one, I guess. We actually use a super basic formula. If a project finds success, people are basically paid more in bonuses, and everyone is paid in the absolute same way. Says longtime Motion Twin game designer Sebastian Bernard. No, I'm dumb. In an email, the devs and the artists are paid the same amount of money, and people like me, who have been working here for 17 years, are paid the same amount as people who were recruited last year. It seems to be working. Motion Twin has a business has been founded for nearly 2 decades, and the studio's most recent game, Dead Cells, has sold over 700,000 units on PC alone before even leaving early access. What do you guys?
It's been funded for nearly 2 decades.
It's
like
has been in business for nearly.
Oh, I was like, Jesus, their fucking like runway like that long. That's socialism. You can't talk about that.
Yeah, you can't talk about that on the Escapist.
Oh no. Well, whatever. That's funny. They're like literally this article is politics and games.
Yeah.
But that's great. That's fucking awesome. That's how every like.
So what is the Escapist literally just going to be reviews then?
I don't know.
So they're just not going to cover these types of things.
No, I get.
Like, what do they even do?
They wouldn't cover the
I
arena
think
net
they'll
shit.
just be a normal like games news site. They're just
like technically
they're,
like
what
we
news
we
is?
both write for sites that probably operate like very similarly to this, right? Like I doubt.
I guess, yeah.
I doubt we're covering things like
But
the
the difference is like we got this covered or whatever in the game rant. They like aren't as big as these.
No, they don't have like the clout to be like this is our opinion.
Like this game isn't huge by any means. It's like a mid tier.
It's like people know about it.
I know if you know what like about games, you've heard of the Escapist.
Yeah.
You might not go there. I don't see why you would. The layout is pretty great.
It's like 2008.
But like this next story also is about the Quantic Dream stuff. Wouldn't talk about that.
no.
Like whatever.
Can't.
But I want to talk about this story
Yeah.
because this is cool and this is
The
like
Xbox. Hold on, I'm sorry. The Xbox story was about a cheaper console. That's socioeconomic status. Can't talk about that. Like, if you go down a rabbit hole, like what the
Like,
fuck?
you can't talk
just
about
won't be
anything.
reporting anything.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is cool. This is like the perfect formula for like a small studio like this. Like I can't imagine. Can you imagine like Microsoft, like one of their studios, being like, "Hey, you're gonna get paid the same amount as Bill Gates. That's just how it works now." Like no fucking way, right? They would never do that.
Yeah.
But for a small studio,
well, they're
they should.
French too, right?
Yeah, right.
So
That's the other thing is that
that's
They got a
value-
lot more money to spend on cigarettes and baguettes, right?
they value human worth
they,
probably.
they don't
more.
have as much of a fucked up capitalist economy.
Yeah.
So.
Give it time. I don't know, but no, this is cool. This is awesome. I really like that idea, and I think that it gives people it makes people humble, and it gives people maybe that are newer more confidence to say their mind, and I think that's why their game is doing awesome. Dead Cells is great. I mean, they listen to their community, and it seems like they have a lot of good minds there, and yeah, more power to them.
Right.
That's a great idea.
The other thing, like, they don't really, I mean, they might talk about it in the article, but like it didn't get pointed out in this. Like, oh, it did. They talked about the studios are rife with soul-destroying crunch and end of project layoffs. And then the guy that was talking about it said he had been at the studio for 17 years in the same position. That doesn't happen in the games industry. People, like, you either move up or you burn out and leave and do something else. And like this, like, if your studio can pay higher wages to new talent, can ensure them job security because you've been around for 20 years, and can tell them, hey, like, you're never, like, I know, like, I don't know how to describe this. You're treated as an equal in the eyes. You're not like the rookie kid that's like getting paid shit wages. You're not only are you, like, from an ethical standpoint, I believe, to be like a more ethically sound company and whatnot, you're also getting better people to want to work for you.
Yeah.
So like I would rather work at if I was in France, I would rather work for Motion Twin than Quantic Dream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But you know that Wallace and Gromit movie where
The claymation one?
where well, they're all claymation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucker. Where Gromit's like on that train and he's like laying down pieces of track really fast in front of it. Like that's all Western game studios.
Oh yeah.
They're just like, fuck, hire some people, let's get this done. All right, fire them all. We're out of money. Like it's just like a constant like it's like paycheck to paycheck because like you have fucking CEOs making like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then you're paying like maybe game designers like
60
enough to live in California barely.
Right.
Like it's like so fucked. So like this is like a good way to like really know exactly how much you have left, how many people you can hire, and for how long. And it would really simplify things so that when it's time for like the annual like fiscal year financial meeting, you can be like, okay, we've got this many people, we can keep them funded, and if we keep going like this, we're good. And I don't know, it's like. Yeah, flat structure make things a lot simpler, and that's why you can have people employed for 17 years because a little better.
Plus, like, I feel like when you have a system where like if you come in and you're new and like your opinions aren't really valued and they only listen to like people that have been there for a while, like I can understand like having experience is important, but like you shouldn't
it also
just
like sets you in your ways
everyone.
too.
Yeah, you shouldn't dismiss everyone's opinions and like ideas and like because like. Bringing in new people, you're bringing in new ideas and like moving forward, and you should be respecting them and listening to what they have to say because it could be something big, and you might miss it if you're only listening to people that have been there for a long time or like have a higher position or whatever it is.
That's why like when creative stuff happens in other fields that aren't necessarily games, like music or movies or whatever, the people that are making the best music are now are young people, not like fucking old, like for the most, like I'm generalizing, but like people that are over the age of like 50 are like stuck in their ways in a certain degree.
Unless you're swans.
I mean, like I'm again, there's plenty of examples. Like David Bowie made his last album was a great album. Like, I'm not like
I understand what you're saying,
but like things that are getting like the most popular right now
are the creative stuff that young people are doing, and if you can hire the most creative young people because you have the most like appealing job offer, then like I feel like that makes a lot of sense. This last story comes from Tom Phillips over at Eurogamer, and it's about Quantic Dream. It says the controversial game studio Quantic Dream, developers of the PlayStation exclusives Heavy Rain and Detroit Become Human. I like how we're just like forgetting about Beyond Two Souls at this point. They have two other ones that we can talk about now. We don't have to do that anymore. Has lost the court case to one of its former employees. The victim in the case quit their post due to offensive photoshopped images of employees being circulated around the studio. Images which came to light after a damning joint investigation into toxic workplace culture undertaken by a team of journalists at Le Mans and Cardet PC and Media Part.
There was an attempt.
Fucking nailed that, man. Yeah. Published back in January. So I didn't write anymore. Basically, apparently the employees of this or pictures of this employee photoshopped into like Nazi imagery and like them doing like sex acts and stuff like that as like a joke. Were like being published around this studio, and they like so what they did was they took them to court. They quit, but then they took them to court to like because if you quit, you don't receive any benefits. Like,
right.
But he took them to court and was like, "Hey, I quit, but I quit because I don't want to work here, like not because it was like my choice." And he like in his settlement, he got his severance or whatever, like if he had been laid off or something like that. Okay. And then this comes after they talked about. There's another court case where all this stuff came to light because of this. Investigation from all these newspapers, and Quantic Dream sued the reporters in that case. That's a separate thing, not about this.
Right.
And I would assume they're gonna lose that based on the fact that this
all the rumors were true.
Yeah.
Like literally, they were like, "This is not true," and then they started to sue people, and it turns out
sue you
it was all true. And people generally don't lie about this shit, so you should probably believe them the first time. Like, wow, who would have fucking thought? It's ridiculous. Fuck them. I'm glad.
Yeah, this is good news, I think, and a good step for not like I don't know. People are set in their ways. I don't think you change people's minds if I'm being totally honest about stuff. But like the people that like when stuff comes out about other studios, they maybe take it with.
What about I gotta ask you. I wanted to ask you, and this is we can't. It's not really relevant to the podcast, but the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Dude, let's talk about James Gunn. Yeah.
James.
I want to hear your
Okay.
take on that.
All right. What do you? All right. Well, I want to hear. No, I want to hear you.
All right,
first.
so what I think is...
All right, so if we're gonna be on,
Yeah.
James Gunn is the filmmaker who made director of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, or his
Yes.
biggest movies. Before that, he was like a horror film director,
Yes.
and apparently 10 years ago, he made a lot of jokes,
Like bad.
like jokes. I'll do quotes again, like what I was saying about
bad
like
taste.
about like child pedophilia and
Like
stuff like
rape.
that.
They're like
and-
not even kind of funny. Like
Yeah, they're
really
not-
leaning towards
to be-
thinking about being.
I will like. I think he was making jokes. I do.
The
I don't know. I'm
attempt
not
was
saying
to
he
make
was like
jokes.
being like a dickhead. Like he was trying to be like.
Whereas, like about this, they were probably jokes. I don't know. They just didn't like
They were
this guy
jokes.
and were like trying to make fun of him.
Sure.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
But like
But
with
this
with
was-
the
yeah.
they were jokes terrible. Like they were very
Yeah.
they were not funny jokes at all.
Yeah.
Based in what I said, like child pedophilia and like rape
Rape
jokes and
and,
stuff
like-
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were so a bunch of these got brought up by this guy named Mike Cernovich, who is like a
Is a-
prominent alt-right
Alt-right,
blogger. He was the guy
yeah.
that like founded the Pizzagate conspiracy
Yeah,
that
okay.
was about child pedophilia that was not true, that caused a
Uh-huh.
man with like an assault rifle to go to a pizza place. So he posted this all, and then like immediately at like hours after all that like broke, Disney then fired James Gunn. And
Can you just
that's where
imagine
we're
Mike
at right now.
Cernovich like scrolling 9 years down through his Twitters, jerking his tiny little penis, like, I finally got this motherfucker! I finally got him!
Yeah.
And he just went and he was like,
Jeez.
look, Disney, fire him now!
No.
God, what a fucking piece of shit.
So-
But
Oh my god.
what do we do? What do we all make of this?
Well, the first thing that you also have to mention is that this has been brought up before by
yes, it
people
has.
on the left who everyone's like, well, why didn't the
I'm
left
pretty sure
bring
he
this up?
brought it up himself.
Well, like years ago,
Yeah.
people like brought this up.
Yeah, when the
and
first
he
Guardian movie came out in
apologized.
2014.
It's not like he
10
deleted
years
them.
is a long time. Like,
Okay,
It
yeah,
was, it was
I wanna
like
know.
6 years, but like, yeah. And he apologized
This was
for
talked
it
about.
then.
Yeah.
And like, I'm pretty sure Disney already knew like that was a thing, but
Mhm.
like, he has made an effort to change that and like move forward.
and shown it.
Yeah,
Like
like
10, even 6 years ago, all of us have said or done something super cringy
Absolutely.
that
Oh,
we
yeah.
would not be proud of.
So-
Oh, yeah.
so like, should people
To
be held?
To be fair, 60 years ago we were like teenagers, not a full-grown adult.
True,
How old
but
is he?
still,
How
10
old is he
years is a
now?
lot of like,
He's like
time and
45.
growth.
So he was 35 when he made these jokes. I do want to have that.
Well, that's perspective. No,
I
that's
do
good.
agree, but it's a little different when like going from 60 to 25 to 35 to 45.
30 is the new 20, dude. He was
It'd be like 30 is the new like 15, which is ridiculous. But anyway,
But like, I get the whole conversation is about like, should you be like held accountable for things that you have said and done in the past where you have like moved on and changed as a person? Like, are you still like, is it's still something that you said or something that you did, but like, does that affect who you are, or like, I guess what you do and what you
Yeah.
say now?
Well, it's not even just that. It's that like the optics on like a rape joke 9 years ago was much different
That's
than it is
true.
now. Like you have to think about like rape jokes were like, at least in like high school for us, were like just a normalcy and nobody took it
Right.
like as seriously. Like it's obviously like a serious
You can even
issue.
find like television from that era.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guarantee it,
Yeah.
where there are rape jokes and nobody
Bats a
had-
fucking eye.
Absolutely.
And there's
Yeah.
there's gay jokes in like 90s television.
Yeah.
That's super
oh my
homophobic.
god, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the entire joke is that you're acting gay.
Yeah.
Like it's wild as you
Yeah.
watch this
It's-
stuff.
Yeah.
It's not even that he changed, which he did.
Yeah.
It's also
It's
that
him
culture
and-
changed.
Right.
Yeah.
And there was a really funny joke on Kotaku Split Screen where they were like, we make all these Roomba jokes now, like, all the Roomba's so stupid, it's just a dumb robot. What if robot rights become a thing in 15 years? And they're like, look at all these fucking things you said about Roomba, you pieces of shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously, like a
It's-
logical extreme, but yeah, you have to think about like how culture changes and how we as a society progress. And obviously we take those things a lot more seriously now, in conjunction with the fact that he's obviously changed, or at least, you know, outwardly made an effort to appear that he's
Yeah.
changed. And I just
Like
thought of it
he-
because you said no one changes, which I disagree with. But I understand that, like,
I meant it like no one changes from reading one think piece. Is kind
oh
of
yeah,
like-
okay, sure. But over time, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
But
for
what I was
someone
saying is like based on that like Le Mans or that French or the Quantic Dream story.
Yeah.
and now that that's coming to light that that stuff was true, even when the next one happens, I don't think people are gonna be like, well, that one was true. That's what I was saying.
Yeah. I really want this to be a lesson, especially to people on the right who say like, oh, the left just wants to like execute people over like the smallest thing. That no, you can change, and people on the left are like, good, thank you, that's great, that's what we want. We're not gonna like cast you out to fucking die. Like this is like the exact example of like, we don't like, it's not like you are not given a second chance if you stop being racist or you stop being sexist. Like that's the whole fucking goal. Like it's not to just ostracize people for life.
It's just that we don't want, if you're like actively sexist, we don't want you portraying those things right now.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Change and
Stop,
then come back.
Come back. And
Roseanne is not the same as this situation that I've seen like compared to a bunch.
That was
Yeah.
bad dick jokes 10 years ago. I don't know if it's the same.
Like
as
making
racist.
Literally, if 10 years ago in tweets, if he was making like homophobic and racist jokes, and now he publicly decries that, said I was fucked up, I was like,
which he did.
But like I was saying to like, I guess like pedophilia is bad too, but like not as like prevalent as just racism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so like, because I think when he made these jokes, no one thinks he is a pedophile. When if he makes racist jokes, people probably think he's
you're a racist.
Yes. But like like people would still be like upset about it. But like 10 years ago, if he did everything to apologize, it might be like a note in his Wikipedia file. Yeah. That like forever.
Controversy.
But like it's like people are okay with that. When Roseanne calls somebody, a black person, a gorilla, and then says I was high on Ambien, that's not the fucking
and also,
same.
I thought she was white.
Yeah.
Like, Ambien responded to that.
Yeah. Like it's not the same at all.
I just want this to go down. Go on fucking record that a lot of people are coming to his defense on the left, and that they are not crucifying him, and you can go fuck yourself if you think that is how it operates, like that's how the world operates. It's not.
You say one racist thing and you should die and lose everything. Like that's
no,
not
if you're being a
point.
racist, you should probably just go out to the fucking street until you are done being racist, and then you can come back to society. Like that's like just it's changing. It's changing your ideas and your worldview and
being
updating
empathetic and understanding of people.
But also, it is not the left's job to like coach them to how to understand.
No,
it
is not.
No, I also want to say, like, you got to do that on your fucking own. And like, when you figure it out, maybe I'll fuck with you. I ain't fuck with you until then.
But no, that's the point I wanted to bring out of this.
And again, and all right, so we can tie this back even further. Like, I haven't seen too many comparisons of that, but if you want to, it's different. He was making jokes. Like, Bill Cosby was raping people back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
That's not the same thing, also.
It is not.
Like, those were actions he took against other people. Louis C.K. was forcing women into rooms and jerking off on them.
Yeah.
Not the same as making jokes. I just want, like, because
there
I
are
don't
degrees
know.
of...
There are, like, actions, like, everybody says actions speak louder. It is very true in that regard, in my opinion.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, it sounds like we've all pretty much come to the same
cool.
conclusion. Didn't have to
Also, I was listening to, I think it was kind of funny, morning show, they were talking about it, and one of the things they brought up was the fact that Disney hasn't rehired him and like stuff like that probably says a lot more about like the internal working relationship with them, and they're just kind of using this as cover for like they wanted to fire him for a different reason, and like, or like they weren't like working, like, you know,
really?
like he was difficult to work with or like something like that. Not like
it's possible. That's like super speculative.
That's 100%.
Yeah.
But it makes no sense why they wouldn't hire him back.
Well, it makes no sense that they would.
Like,
In my opinion, fire him over.
immediately.
I mean,
like you were saying,
Disney
it's like
is
not the same.
they are possibly the most image obsessed company of all. Like
And
they,
the founders
I
known
thought that they were
anti-Semite
already.
racist.
well, I mean, think about it
Yeah.
though. It's like the EA
Different
loot boxes
times.
thing. As soon as people started saying, "Hey, gambling, children, EA gamble like makes children
Disney.
gamble," like Disney, they were like, "We're not doing loot boxes anymore," because Disney, the fucking mouse probably came down and was like, "You guys gotta fucking stop!
Oh, you gotta quit it,
You guys gotta fucking stop this shit." That they call it the mouse because they're so powerful and
That's
so
like
like
horrifying to think about it in
Yeah.
that sense that there's this just mouse that just descends.
You know,
Mickey
it's even more
Mouse.
horrifying. The mouse buying up all the entertainment companies, gonna control it all.
Yeah,
hopefully. That's
why
even
they're
more
image obsessed,
sterilizing the
They
fucking
want you to
whole-
be complacent while they're taking all your shit.
Like, yeah, but no, that definitely probably has a lot to do with it. Is they just did not want to be associated with anything that could tie them back to like hate speech
But-
or.
There's plenty of people that like if I go down the rabbit list, if I go down the list or the rabbit hole, it's unclear. There are people that are affiliated with Disney that I'm sure have done stuff.
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
yeah.
And I'm sure if they were in the zeitgeist and someone
Johnny
brought that
Depp,
to light,
for example.
Johnny Depp, the perfect example.
They
He's
brought
fucking
him out at Comic-Con.
and he was literally in the same fucking room with Amber Heard, the
Yup.
woman he fucking beat up. Like,
Yup.
what the fuck?
So, like, Cliff Notes version, what is it that Johnny Depp did? I know he's
I also don't
The-
know
he
for sure.
He beat
His wife.
wife
Okay.
basically, and
That's way
like,
more socially acceptable. Like that's
What?
an
It
American.
is.
It
It
is.
is.
That's an American
We have a
staple.
T-shirt and lovingly named
Chris
after
Brown
him.
plays shows all the fucking time.
Oh yeah, and he goes around Rihanna all the time, and people are like, oh.
Unfortunately, that's just not something they would probably
Yeah.
knee jerk about because that's just
I
something
feel
that
like
we're okay with in
There
America.
are other things that Johnny Depp has done. I just don't have
Yeah.
the fucking list of problematic things.
But
that
I
he
mean,
he
I've
has
always
done.
heard he's like a dick, but like I never really.
But in like the
knew
next
why. I
Pirates
never
movie, he will
bothered
be in that. I'm sure.
Oh
Yeah.
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 Like,
That's
Pedophilia.
Is he in? No, he's in Kingdom
well,
Hearts.
jokes
I
versus.
don't know if he is, but like
yeah,
his
that
character,
also. But I'm
like,
saying is like a.
Wait, it might not be
Jack
his
Sparrow
voice.
is in it,
Okay,
but I
yeah.
don't think he voices
Alright,
it.
yeah,
J.K. Rowling like openly defended him because he's in Crimes.
Yeah,
Invisible.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
She sucks too.
Oh yeah.
Always
She doesn't suck, but
She
like
sucks a little bit.
she sucks a little bit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what did she do?
But
Besides
she's just defending. That's what I'm saying. She sucks a little bit.
All right, that's fair.
You get
And
the further away from it you are, you get the less sucky, but like you're still kind of sucky.
Well, that and like just I hate that she in order to seem the most woke, she goes back and she's like, "Oh yeah, Hermione
Yeah.
was definitely bisexual."
Yeah, she just
and,
says
like,
shit
just like
that is like
completely
not
like
alluded to at all in her books to
not
make
at all.
fans happy, and she's like
No.
on her fucking dick throne,
like
just
the
being like, yes, aha.
yes, Dumbledore was
progressive.
gay, but other than that, nothing else was implied about your characters
Yeah.
being anything that they're not.
Yeah,
So
it's all
that's
yeah.
annoying.
We
But
talked about J.K. Rowling for a while.
Yeah.
I like J.K. Rowling, but she has some and it's okay to like problematic things.
We got
As
big
Yeah.
tangents today. dude.
I like
talked
plenty of
This-
problematic.
Oh my
things.
god, liking
Yeah.
hip hop is you just have to like I gotta deal with the fact that like Dr. Dre beat the shit out of a lot of women, but like the chronic bumps, you know. But like I just gotta deal with that in my life. So yeah,
Cool.
like I don't know.
yeah, I mean, coming to terms
It's
with
hard.
that kind of stuff is, you know.
It's a burden you
I
have to bear.
I think just being educated is like the first like if at least if you know about it, like that is and if you're presented with the facts, you have to accept them too. You
Yeah.
can't just be like, no, I just like that thing, so no, that's not true.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah, that's all the
Anyways.
news for this week. I told you it's a good news week, right?
Yeah, it's
Told you we had a
spicy
lot of topics to discuss. That brings us to announcements and delays for the week. One game did get announced. It is Nickelodeon Kart Racers coming out
Oh
on
yeah.
August 28th.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It looks like pretty ugly, but like it's fun nostalgia trip kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So there's that coming out, and then games that are coming out this week. No new releases, but a bunch of stuff is getting Switch ports on Thursday. Not a Hero is coming to Switch. 1979: The Revolution, which is one of those like games that Escapist isn't going to cover, and Salt and Sanctuary are all coming to Switch.
Might
on
maybe play that, but
Thursday.
goddamn, I hate the art style.
On Thursday.
That looks fine. I
It
always
looks like
wanna
a
try it,
DeviantArt hot topic.
Doesn't look like
It looks like-
DeviantArt.
what's that
Have you
game?
seen the characters?
There's far too little tentacles in it for DeviantArt.
It looks like was it a dishwasher?
That's the same devs.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
Well, that
I
makes
hate
sense.
the way the characters look. It just looks like a 2000s Flash game. I mean, it's
It does
fun.
kind of look like a Flash game.
Yeah, but whatever.
I will
The
give
game's good.
you
I just-
that. Then it brings us to a topic we haven't done in a while called Other Listeners' Mail. This is when
Oh,
we
yeah.
take questions submitted to other
I would take a
missed
comment
that.
on the YouTube video. Give us a letter in the
Yeah,
fucking
if you
easy
do
peasy.
anything.
Yeah.
We'll
Should've
read
grabbed
it.
one out of the arena.
Oh,
no.
Should not have.
We'll read it on the show.
Not that
Comment
one.
down below.
Yes. This story or this question comes from Kind of Funny Games Daily, and it's from none other than President Barack Obama.
Oh,
That's
cool.
the screen name the man gave when he left this. When he left this.
Amazing.
So he says, "Greetings, GDC crew," and then they talked about how there's no C, and he just put a weird acronym on it. Do you think video games are currently in a bubble similar to the .com bubble of the 90s and the 2008 housing bubble, and similar to the 2008 housing bubble? The share price of EA, Activision, and Take-Two have all skyrocketed in the last 5 years, with Take-Two up 646% alone. This is largely due to the increase in sales of microtransactions. I can personally see how this could lead to trouble for the video game industry. I can personally see 3 things that could lead to trouble in the video game industry. Microtransactions end up being a temporary fad. People stop spending money on them. The average age of gamers is going up, causing them to not have time to play games. And games as a service are becoming more and more popular, and people will dedicate more of their time to a select few games and not buy as many new releases. That comes from Barack Obama.
Thanks, Barack.
Thank
Yeah, I miss you. What do you guys make of all this?
I don't think the gamers getting older is ever going to be an issue because, like, sure, like our generation, we might have less time to play video games. We're not going to be playing as much of the new stuff, maybe, because we've got like a ridiculous catalog of older games we want to go back to. But there's always going to be a new generation coming in that parents are going to be throwing video games at to shut them up. So like that, I don't think that's ever.
Yeah,
gonna be a
that
problem.
way. It's I understand what he's saying. Like in theory, is like we're getting older. Like old people are getting older, and like there's less people that buy newspapers or like less. But like video games are a new thing, so like people are doing.
Oh
that.
and if you ever play an online game and listen to who's speaking, like you will know that there are young people playing games.
Dude, I played
like the Fortnite community.
I played
GTA.
Fucking garbage.
I played It wasn't even like garbage. I played Fortnite with Bobby and his cousin, whatever it was. And he was on PC, so I just had to use the team chat or whatever. Yeah. And like as 3 of us, so we just like they didn't do no fill, so we grouped up with this like 4 in a row kids with like the stereotypical squeaky voice.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, whoa, this is actually a thing because I never played a game with people online.
Yeah.
And that was
Gears of War days.
I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. I thought this was like just a meme. It's like actually seeing somebody play a game like drinking Mountain Dew. Eating that's what it was like.
I do that with WoW as a joke, but like also it's good. It's fun.
So I don't think that's a problem. I don't think microtransactions like people will
become more of
continue.
You know what will kill the momentum? Unionization.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yep, that is what would... Because the reason that the stock prices are going up and that sales aren't dropping, and this has been like the doom saying for like years and years, oh, this is going to crash. When's the industry going to crash? Like, especially on like 4chan. Everybody's like, one day we'll get the golden age. And it's like, no, it's not going to happen. But what would do it, at least slow it down, is not being able to hire people for dirt cheap wages to like rush out your games and doing that every year or whatever, like
while you're making 646% more on your investment.
And I think like a naive like positive argument that video games aren't going to die on anytime soon is like, in my opinion, they're like the best they've ever been, like creatively.
Yeah.
So they're kind of on the up right now.
The thing I would say about that is, yes, there are like for as many games as we came out this year, you can count dozens and dozens of games that are probably worth your time. The last point he does make is that games as a service are becoming more popular.
Yes.
That I think is a real factor.
Yeah.
In that, like,
that stops me from buying so many. Like WoW and Destiny. Like,
if you're
just talking about that,
I'm good.
If you're into Destiny and couple that with the fact that I don't think microtransactions are going away, then you're spending more money in Destiny, then you have less incentive to play other games because you are like spending. Well, so in that regard, it becomes there's everything becomes not collapsing.
Imploding.
Not imploding. Everything becomes smaller because there can only be like 5 game studios that are releasing these kind of games as opposed to 10 or 15. So like that kind of takes things out. Like
be fine.
We talk.
I think that just limits that genre though, because like.
Well, no, not even that genre. Like, because we talked about like everybody liked Monster Hunter, right?
Yep.
Capcom was great. They did great with Monster Hunter. Their stock price is plunging right now because no one is playing Monster Hunter anymore. So like
they haven't updated it really well.
That like I mean they like I don't play it.
The update,
they've updated a bunch of monsters, right?
Updates have been
They've added a couple monsters.
Very big and not very frequent. What they like compared to like Destiny, where they have events every like week or two that are kind of substantial and keep you have to do them. It's limited time only. These updates are more like, here's an event, you can go back and do older things. Like they're not actively adding a whole lot of new content.
And I feel like part of that is because they might not like, as opposed to Bungie, which is funded by Activision, Capcom isn't the size of that kind of company.
No,
true.
So they might not have.
And they're working on the PC port, Monster Hunter G Ultimate for Switch, which I can't fucking wait for that. Yeah, so it's hard to keep up with a Bungie or a Epic
and I also think their Western audience isn't as big as like
Monster Hunter World brought it to size.
No, definitely Monster Hunter World, but like all like otherwise, like I think their Japanese audience is what they would probably focus on more than the Western one, because I don't think that a lot of their games sell as well, or
Yeah. Well, yeah, and they're split. They're more split. Capcom has got a lot of projects. They just had the Mega Man X collection come out.
Yeah.
They've got Resident Evil Remake or Resident Evil 2, which looks fucking awesome.
That looks awesome. Yeah.
So it's not like that's their only project. Bungie's only
this
working.
year, isn't it?
I don't know.
I fucking hope so.
I thought Remake 2. Oh, you guys
Check
talk
that out. No, I don't think games as service is gonna stop people from buying new games. It's like, because eventually you do get burned out. Those games have a lifetime, and and there's a lot of them are things you can drop. I mean, it sounds like maybe Fortnite. You can drop, be comfortable, and then come back to, and then build up, to the level everybody else is at.
Like
there's catch-up
GTA,
systems.
I just got back into GTA, and that's.
Some of those games are getting better about that now than they were in the past, but WoW, now it's easier to do that than it's ever been.
WoW, you can jump into Legion and be 9-10.
That's what I'm saying. Now it's easier to do that than it's ever been, but I'd say beginning of Legion even, that doing that was such a fucking annoying nightmare. It's like it makes you not want to play the game.
Well, that's why they're changing it, is because like they know that they're not the only game that people play anymore. Like WoW is great, but there are other things that fill that niche. That people also want to enjoy. Like I play WoW and Destiny right now. I probably won't play Destiny until Forsaken as much, but
for a little bit you
play
Warframe.
A major hurdle for most games as a service is like how accessible is it after having dropped it for a while. Like
Warframe that game needs to be the future. Like that kind of model. Like I don't even play it that much. I play like 60 hours and I'm like, yeah, it's fun. It's kind of repetitive, whatever. I like it. That community is crazy about that shit. And it makes so much money and it's like free and it's fair free and you can just jump in and get powerful without paying a dime. Goddamn, like why is that in Fortnite? Like look at that. And then do it more. It's great. Like Destiny 2 Forsaken should just be free. If Blizzard made another MMO, it should just be fucking free. Like you can make so much money, especially Blizzard's art team. I was saying to her today, if they made a Diablo
their
MMO.
cinematics are fucking incredible.
Imagine
every time.
If that Diablo MMO is real, imagine them making that. And then it being free, and then you pay for like cosmetic skins that their art team makes. Those are amazing looking. Everyone would want them. I would fucking buy the shit out of those. Yeah. Like, there's tons of little things you can put in your game that don't put others at a disadvantage, that incentivize people to pay. I can't say that enough. Like, it's so that system works. We got off track, but this industry is not going to collapse unless game devs rise up. Bottom text, like unionize. That would be the thing. Demanding a fair wage is a human right.
And even that, I don't know if it would like collapse everything.
It would slow
things down. The processes would be a lot longer.
Yeah, it would slow things down maybe, and it would I don't know, like just fucking.
I think initially if that happened,
rob the rich,
dude.
Beat the rich. Yeah.
It's fucking trash.
I mean, even earlier today, you were saying like, oh, I want to get like a narrative game that I can finish, like.
Yeah, I was saying like I can't wait for Spider-Man. I can like roll credits on that shit.
Because you have so many like games as service games.
Yeah, me too.
I
fucking like the Spider-Man PS4 Pro too.
And then
dude, we didn't talk about that. It looks nice.
The gloss is like
the gloss. I wish it was matte.
Yeah, I don't care for glossy on anything.
Just spray it with some like
fucking
shellac it. But no, like think of
fucking like the paint you put on like a deck or something to make sure it like stays good in the rain.
Think about like God of War. Like people are like, oh, nobody's talking about God of War anymore. It's like you're allowed. People finished the game.
Also,
it was amazing.
That's not true. Like somebody asked.
The Easter egg thing? Is that what you're talking about?
What?
Oh yeah, there was that big. There was like an Easter egg thing where we've all played. Yeah, spoilers for God of War.
30 seconds.
All right. Okay. At the beginning. Oh God.
Maybe more than 30.
At the beginning, in your like first cabin.
Yeah.
There's like hints. It says like Loki. Like,
oh yeah, they said, oh, there's a spoiler, and they don't understand narrative devices, which is foreshadowing. Anyway.
Also, you'd have to speak like fucking Nordic.
Yeah. Anyway. Per Schneider, who's like the head of IGN like content team or whatever, he posted the traffic for all games this week.
Yeah.
Like number 2 was God of War because of that kind of stuff. So that game still like has like
that just recently happened that we found the last Easter eggs.
Yeah. But like still like there is content that's being written about that.
I want to play it again already. That game's so fucking good.
And plus, like, some people may not play it right when it comes out, so like they're gonna play it and they might want to talk about it once they play it.
That's like my new once a year, dude. Used to be Bloodborne, think of God of War.
And now the God of War has a game like God of War has fucking combat systems intricate enough that you can play it a different way the second time through. Is fucking crazy for a God of War game.
God of War was so good.
It's amazing. Game of the year.
Like, I enjoyed it. I don't know.
For me.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's definitely in top 3.
Yeah. We'll decide later.
Yeah. So cool. That's it for all the questions this week. We can move on to what we've been playing. We haven't been playing that much. dog days of summer kind of stuff.
Yeah,
You
a
know,
little right now. September's gonna be nuts.
yeah,
Well, even
September.
August got some good stuff. BFA.
Been playing week 1 of the War of Thorns.
It was
You see, it's
about
where
1 hour content.
Sylvanas is trying to take down the Alliance. So
She's a huge cunt.
We're trying. She
basically.
kind of sucks, yeah. So we're trying to stop her as the Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, I play both Horde and Alliance.
Oh, so you're like a secret spy. You're like the Russian
So
spy.
I did the Horde side of it. It feels bad, man. Like I don't understand. Like their logic is you got to kill more people now to save, or kill some people now to save more people.
I agree with that.
That's
though.
Thanos. No, that is genocide.
No,
No,
it's fucked up.
I didn't say genocide. Whoa, hold on.
you
pause.
kill people
No,
now.
she's literally trying to wipe out the Night Elves. Like that's her
Oh, that's
entire
genocide.
campaign
Don't
right
do
now.
that. I love elves.
Yeah, her whole thing is to burn the Night Elves out of Kalimdor.
Does she have like a glove that she can snap?
I bring it up a lot. It's like the Dan Carlin episode about World War I, and it was like if they had just like dropped a bunch of bombs really early, they would have saved like a long drawn out millions of people dying war. Like if somebody did like a big flashy attack and like made someone surrender and just cut it short, which hindsight's 2020 obviously.
Yeah,
That's
it's like that.
plan.
It's
That's,
that
yeah.
idea.
I mean, that's the logic that like gives you Hiroshima and Nagasaki like in World War II.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
plot to Battle for Azeroth. Is Sylvanas is trying to
Interesting.
genocide the Night Elves.
She sounds bad. I'm gonna go with
She's
bad.
a bad.
Yeah.
Well, basically
And
Well,
she's
she's
the
she
leader of the
wasn't
Horde.
bad.
That's
literally,
kind of funny.
and to make it worse, like basically there's uranium that can make giant bombs. Like that's what basically Azerite is.
Yeah.
And like she wants that, and she's like, it's on Kalimdor, which is this continent, and the only alliance settlement on Kalimdor is the Night Elves, and she's like, let's just go genocide them and just get it so that nobody gets it and makes bombs, but we'll have it, so we could. I'm like,
And
fuck
she
you.
does. You use Azerite in a fucking like helicopter to burn down
Fuck
the Night Elf
What the
trees.
fuck?
Fuck off.
I'm not even kidding. That's something
What
you
a bitch.
actively do as a Horde player.
Fuck the
It's like-
Horde. Fuck you.
It's
I'm excited to kill off every fucking blood elf on fucking Azeroth.
I mean, that's literally
There's, like-
what we were just saying.
Yeah, well, yeah, eye for an eye, right?
Yeah.
I mean I can't see him doing that, but there's like low-key a chance that the Night Elf or the Blood Elves could become Alliance.
Whoa,
Like,
that'd
that
be
could
crazy.
happen. It won't, but they could do that narratively. And then like, so my prediction here is they're building up to Sylvanas is either going to end up being a boss. She's going to be like the Garrosh of Battle for Azeroth.
I think that'll be Jaina.
Which I think Jaina will be like the Alliance.
They'll do a
one, Sylvanas will
flipperoo.
be the-
Sylvanas will be the good one.
I don't. Either that's going to
That'd
happen.
be
She's
cool.
going to end up being some kind of martyr that dies to save everybody.
Yeah.
Or she's going to be a boss like Garrosh was. Is my prediction for this expansion.
It's gonna be Jaina's gonna be the raid boss.
The
they're
overall, the
they're
big
gonna
baddie
flip it.
is going to be the old gods, but like
That's so lame, but I'm excited. Did you
It's
see
not,
that?
though, 'cause we've
Dude, did
never
you
seen
see
the
the
old
old god like planet? Like when you kill it's a boss in the night or that raid between Emerald Nightmare and Argus or Ancerus. Which was that? He's like an observer. It's like a celestial. It's like a celestial room, and like he's like, look at your future, and it's like Azeroth with like old god tentacles like
Wasn't that in
consuming
Cataclysm?
it. No, that was this raid.
Oh,
I was like, holy fuck, that's awesome. I want an old god expansion so bad.
that's this. The people are like speculating that's this one.
They're
like,
just tricking
the
you?
war for the Alliance is going to build up into like the old gods are like, all right,
We're gonna
you're
get
done,
purple,
and here you go. They're gonna
Everything's
fuck
purple
everybody.
now.
And what I think is going to happen is Sylvanas is going to realize she's being a stupid idiot and then martyr herself.
In
to
the
turn
last
things
in the
around,
last
and then
big
you're gonna fight
patch.
the old gods.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's WoW.
That's
what
WoW
WoW
talk.
is.
That's
That's been
WoW.
WoW talk. We'll find out on
Do
the
it next week,
Escapist.
Tuesday.
It sounded too political. For me.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's definitely too
Right.
political.
I'll talk about Gungeon a little.
Oh yeah.
So I've been playing Enter the Gungeon. It got a huge update called Gungeons and Dragons. If you've ever been on the fence about Gungeon or thought
Quality title.
everything's great in that game. If you ever been on the fence about it, maybe thought it was a little too hard, a little too boring, unbalanced, they fixed it. Keys drop like crazy now. There's over like 200 synergies with items. Like for example, if you get a sniper rifle, like an op or just the sniper rifle item, and then you get a scope, you get a synergy called 360 yes scope. And if you do a spin before you fire, you get damage and a half on that bullet. It's fucking like little synergies like that are everywhere. And there's like a prompt that shows you that you got one, and you can go in your little codex and find out what it is. And there's new bosses, new enemies, new items. The game feels very complete. Like it was great at launch, and it's like way better now. So I think like it went from an 8 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10 roguelite. It's probably my favorite roguelite. Just
Better
like,
than Isaac?
I think so, because it has more quality of life. Like Isaac, it has like a teleport system. You can teleport pretty much anywhere on the map. It's like the combat is better, and it's more skill based. Isaac feels way more RNG dependent, which is fine. And Isaac has way too many shitty items now. Like it's like they added shitty
There's like
items
12
every...
different fucking versions of Butterbean where you just fart on things.
Yeah, it's so lame. And, like, there's pills that are just there. Like, this is NL's biggest
'Cause
complaint.
it's-
It's
yeah.
like a joke. It's like, oh, you saw it once, that's funny. And then
Yeah.
now every time you get that pill, it's like, this is so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But Gungeon doesn't have any, like, wasted items, I think. They're all beneficial in some way.
That makes sense.
And I really like that about it, and it feels good to play, and the combat's great. Try it
This
out.
item lets you poop.
Yeah, it's lame. But
So yeah, that's all.
that's Gungeon.
I played Fortnite a little bit. I don't, like SMGs are fucking OP right now. It's
Are they?
Really?
Oh,
It's
shit.
so annoying.
How did they fucking do that?
They
They've
just
been in the
made
game.
them like infinitely better.
Why?
Like and
Well,
like
they suck.
literally no one uses shotguns anymore. Everybody just uses
Oh, I
Really?
took
SMGs.
third.
Wow.
That's like where it's at now.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Isn't that fun though that the meta changes?
it's fun to a degree. Like they
Good
should
for
just
me, who-
they should both be viable. Is the thing.
Yeah.
And shotguns
They'll
right
fix
now
it.
aren't viable. Just like they added double pumps back, and then like tacs weren't viable again. Like it's like just make everything viable and it's fun.
That's the
Yeah.
goal. They're
but
balancing.
like they
Yeah,
don't.
so
but
balancing
when
can
the
be
balance
hard.
like shifts to like all right for this 2 week.
That's
period,
what a fucking balance does.
No, but I'm saying the balance shifts from like this 2 week period. Pumps are going to be good. This 2 week period, tacs are going to be good. This 2 week period, SMGs are going to be good. It should just
It's
be
never
over
all
the
of
time.
them.
They're all good.
That's just how it go. I mean, at least they're
We'll
doing the
see.
buff things instead of break everything down. Like they're doing like the Blizzard way of balancing, which is buff everything a lot,
Yeah.
and then
Oh,
eventually
shit.
Blizzard
everything's
is
equal.
Speaking of that, one important thing I forgot to cover for a while was like fucking. So they did the stat squish for
Yes.
BFA or whatever. Well, before that, they introduced a new scaling system for leveling, so you can go to like different zones and not out level it before you were done with it.
Yeah.
Well, when they did the stat squish after the scaling system,
It's fucked.
It fucked.
Shit's
the
fucked, bro.
scaling
Oh
system.
no.
So there are certain buffs in low level zones that like don't scale properly. So there will be enemies that like use an immunity shield that's supposed to be like 2 seconds, you can't damage them, but they just become invincible
Oh no.
and they'll just murder
And
you.
they don't know why, which is great.
And they
Blizzard
can't
literally
figure out why.
they said to, I think, Kotaku, they were like, we don't know how to fix this because we don't know why it's happening.
Well, I think it's because it was the stat squish after the scaling system, both of which are like
Yeah, so they don't know what the
Yeah.
interaction is that's making that happen.
Right, yeah.
So don't expect leveling to work. Buy the $60 boost instead.
But
apparently.
sometimes it works
Why
in
don't
your
they
favor.
just take the invincibility thing out?
Well, they can
Well-
remove that ability, and that's the kind of thing that they're doing. They're doing like temporary fixes.
Like for
but-
temp. Like I'm saying something.
But
Yeah.
but they even said like we don't want to start doing that kind of stuff because that could cause more problems,
yeah.
and the
They need to get to the
original
root
problem will
cause.
still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So, but sometimes it works in your favor. Like I was in Western Plaguelands the other day and got like a buff that gives you fucking like infinite crit.
Yeah.
And then I
Oh,
just did a
God.
dungeon and was just shitting on everything.
They'll fix Fortnite. It's
I'm
like
sure they will.
Yeah.
They're also nerfing building, which like
that's why. That's the whole
that's
core of the game.
Yeah, I know it's dumb.
Huh.
That
Like,
might kill
they're-
the hype. for
That
that
like it makes it easier for new players to play it, but
Yeah.
like
Don't
That
ever
makes
take the
sense.
skill
that's
ceiling
that's
down.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's never. That'd be like in Rocket
I mean,
League
they're
if you
trying
were
to
like.
make more money.
It'd be like
if
Rocket
a
League.
new
We're taking
player-
out flip reset.
Yeah, like
We're-
if a
we're-
They're
new
taking out like
You
boost.
You can't jump anymore. Okay, it's easier.
But like
now.
no, like the way they're nerfing it is like normally you can have 1,000. They're gonna move that to 500, so you have less, so you can't get in the build fights, and then the just overall health of everything is going down. Which
I don't know.
That sounds
It's a nerf.
fine.
500,
It's
like
nerf, but
500 is a lot.
It's not. It's
you
not
can get
inviolable.
with one build fight you can get in one build fight you can use 500 wood.
You
So then
could.
the next time you get in a build fight you're just fucked.
I
Like,
hate
you don't
build
have-
fights, so
Maybe.
that's fine.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
You're being
not like
catered
shitting on
to.
you.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, so am I. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's what makes
And
that
it-
game special.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Don't take it out. That's so
Yeah.
sad. Whatever.
I mean, I'm bad at it. I understand that. Like,
I'm
just
sure
bad at
that
it.
the community's already pissed off.
And also the nerf usually wood starts out with 200 HP. Now it starts out with 100, so you can just knock it down in like 2 shots instead of 4. So that makes it way easier to destroy people as they start a build fight. Like it's taking build fights out of the game,
that sucks.
which in my opinion is like one of the nuances of the game that makes it special.
Yeah, right.
it is.
So
You were
I
talking
hate it
about.
because I'm bad at it, so this is fine
and like
for me.
and they
but-
Well,
they
we'll
spent a
see.
fucking year teaching us to like get good at building, and now it's like fuck off. Like,
I
suck a
think
dick.
they're just
Yeah.
trying to make it so that like they don't last as long. Where like you're building huge like mazes. Like I know that's cool and like that.
I think that shit is the cool. Like when I
I
come
know.
across like something that was like
Yeah,
that's like one of
like,
my favorite
something
moments in the
happened
game.
here.
And like I feel like one of the things they did to help people that aren't good at building is put portaforts in the game, and like
Yeah.
that I felt like was a decent
Sure,
solution. They
yeah.
could buff portaforts and make them like taller or
yeah,
like
or like
more
a different shape.
different
or
shapes or something like that. But like
anything.
the nerfing building is what I have.
That sucks.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, Anyway, but I'm like, I feel like out of all our friends, not like to toot my own horn, I'm the best at building. So like,
Yeah.
it is like Drew doesn't
Absolutely.
care about it as much, and like I yell, I bitch at him. He's like, whatever. I just got 2 snipes from like
Do you
a
still
mile away.
build
He's really good at
useless stairs up hills
Yeah.
though? Okay.
Well, not anymore because I don't have no fucking wood anymore. Also, yeah, they nerfed the fucking amount of wood shit gives you. It's all just
okay.
frustrating.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that
don't
It's like
was-
they're trying to take building out.
I don't know.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense. It's called Fortnite.
Nothing in particular reminded me of this, but we missed a game that was announced this week.
What was
That arcade drumming game got announced for Switch and PS4. The one where you like slap a big drum with 2 sticks. It's like a Japanese like drumming. It's
slap
a
a big-
The
drumming
one that was
rhythm
at the
game.
arcade at
Yes.
OhioCon?
Yeah.
That's coming to Switch and
cool.
PS4. It's gonna be great. So I just wanted to
Hey
push
man,
that.
that's cool. But that's it for our podcast, episode 64 of the Current Game Podcast. My name is Charles Blade. You can find me on Twitter at Charles Tula, on Instagram at Charles Tula, hashtag Charles 1 Minute Interviews. I'm gonna start doing those again this week. I had a stressful week with my new
Understand.
job.
Starting a
and
new
all that
job is
stuff.
very hard.
Yeah.
So I didn't do anything this week, but I got 3. I have them filmed. I just have to edit them. So coming out
Cool.
soon. Aaron, where can everybody find you?
Aaron M. Weeks on Twitter.
Cool. Cheyenne,
Poop flowers on Twitter.
and then David.
My guy Dave on Twitter, and also I ghostwrite all of her tweets.
That is something. When
That's
the
not
Milo
true.
Spooky, you quit the Milo Spooky account.
No, I just haven't added
where's he
anything.
at?
He's
He's
at
at my
David's
house.
house right
Okay,
now.
yeah. I thought
Yeah.
maybe he was like you just poured out a bunch of food. He was like, I'll be
He's
back
up
in
in
2
Columbus,
weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been Current Game Podcast, episode 64, and peace.